A friend told me that a long time ago when I was getting into real estate. He said I would absolutely hire someone who's been a waiter or a bartender to work in real estate because it's all client services. You know how to take care of people. Mm-hmm. And I got it then, but now that I'm, years later, I'm like, oh, I get that 100%. If you know how to wait tables and take care of your guests, you can certainly take care of real estate people just the same.
Big it up, big it up.
All right, welcome to Let's Talk Real. We are here with Michael Bhagwandin.
Hello.
Hello, Mike. From the Michael Bhagwandin team in Manhattan, New York.
Yep.
So, how's business in Manhattan?
Business is good. It is not 2021 or 2022 good, but I'm still finding my rhythm with it.
Finding your rhythm. Okay.
Yes.
And so, what does your team look like? So, you're a real estate team leader.
Sure.
You have a real estate team with Compass.
Yep.
What does that look like? Is it you? Is it 100 agents? Like, what does it look like?
So I have a team of me and 3 other agents. So there's 4 of us total.
Okay.
And I have 2 assistants.
Okay. So a nice Navy SEAL team.
Yeah.
Tight team, and you guys do some good numbers.
We do some good numbers.
Yeah.
So I only built the team last year.
Okay.
And this is the second team I built because the first team I built in spring of 2022, I failed. Like it just didn't work. It was too big of a team, and also a lot of new agents. And I was training and on calls late night on top of having my own business. So it just was too many things all at once. And so I had to redo it or reassess. And now my team is an agent of 25 years, an agent of 10 years, and then a first-year agent.
Okay.
So it's
a better balance.
Much better balance. I'm not on calls late night explaining how things work.
Okay. And so you're better to provide, I guess, ultimately provide better service to your clients.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because there's a ton of experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would guess if I were in Manhattan trying to sell an apartment or help someone sell an apartment, it would be probably pretty hard for me if I were a newbie.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot. It's not, not that selling houses are easier, but co-ops and boards and the package. I mean, the package is to submit to a board for review, to be told yes or no, you can live in our building. I mean, that's a thing of its own. Yeah. There's no place else in the rest of the country that has co-op boards like New York City. That is 70% of our
other business. Okay.
Yeah. 70% of the purchase market is co-ops.
Okay.
And they're very strict boards and there are rejections.
Yeah. No, I've heard stories about very influential, famous folks getting rejected from boards, and I'm sure they're not happy about that.
No, nobody is. I mean, you work hard and you're telling your whole life story through papers and documents, and then a board says you're rejected. You can't live in this building. So that's a big blow. So you want to make sure you do it right, and that never happens.
Okay, and I'm just curious now. Is there an appeals process? Or?
No. They reject you before they ever meet you. So, and they don't have to give a reason why. You're not buying real property. You're buying shares in a corporation. Mm-hmm. So a corporation doesn't have to disclose why they don't want you to be a member of the corporation.
Right. Yeah, pretty interesting. I've heard stories, but
nothing like it.
All right. So how long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate since October of 2009. Right after the crash, I thought this is a great time to get into real estate.
Right. Yeah, it can't get worse. Right.
I moved to New York in 2008. I was in food and beverage hospitality. I worked at a place called the Desmond Tutu Center, food and beverage manager. I threw events, and the crash happened. I moved in September. The crash happened shortly thereafter, and then I found myself unemployed in New York City. And I also knew I moved to New York with this job thinking that I was making all this money, and then I got to New York, and I was like, oh, it's really expensive. That salary that I thought was a lot from Florida doesn't actually pay very much in New York. Oh. And I saw myself working 60 to 70 hours a week. And I was like, I can't afford to live, on this salary in New York City. So it all worked out perfectly, right? I got laid off. It's that thing of like God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. Mm-hmm. And I knew I always wanted to sell real estate. So I got into real estate, and the rest is history. All right. The worst market to start a new career in real estate, but I did, and I did well. And I've been doing it ever since.
Okay. So when you did you have a background in food and beverage? I mean, when you were in Florida, is that what you?
Well, I'm from Orlando. That's
Okay.
a very service-oriented town, city. And yeah, so I had done hospitality. I worked as a bartender. I worked as a waiter. So I just kind of, it evolved, into hospitality management.
Yeah, and we see that a lot. In service industry,
Yes.
waiters, waitresses, hostesses make good real estate professionals because they understand service.
Right.
And
A friend told me that a long time ago when I was getting into real estate. He said I would absolutely hire someone who's been a waiter or a bartender to work in real estate because it's all client services. You know how to take care of people. And I got it then, but now that I'm, years later, I'm like, oh, I get that 100%. If you know how to wait tables and take care of your guests, you can certainly take care of real estate people just the same, like family.
yeah, steak, the steak dinner, ribeye, just real estate ribeye.
Yeah.
So you're making sure that you deliver. The presentation has to be right. You have to answer they shouldn't have to look for you.
No, exactly.
You're checking on them.
Yes.
It's there are a lot of
You're absolutely
similarities.
right. Don't have the table looking for you. Like, where's our waiter?
Right.
Don't have your real estate agent disappear.
Other people telling you, hey, check on the Johnsons.
Yeah.
They left a message at the office 3 times, right?
Yes.
That's not a good sign.
Not a good look.
All right. So are you born and raised Orlando? Are you from there? Are you originally from there?
Yeah, born and raised in New York City.
Okay.
We moved to Orlando on my 13th birthday, and then I came back in 2008.
Okay. New York. So north, south, back up north.
Yeah, family is still all in Florida.
Okay.
But yeah,
You're back home.
with all my extended family who never left.
Okay. Got it. And then, so what's the family dynamic look like? Have you got a big family?
Yeah. Well, so my dad is one of 11. My mom is one of 6. So
Lots of cousins.
Lots of cousins. I think grandma, before she passed, had like 111 grandkids and great grandkids. So, I mean, it's an extensive family. But my parents, and it was just me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and now she is, married with 2 sons. So there's that.
Okay. Yeah, different. I think different times now. My parents and grandparents had big families. I think now I don't know. Is it more expensive now?
Yeah, I wouldn't have 11 kids today.
Unless you're a mad person, right?
Yeah, no, you can't. You just can't afford to do that.
Yeah, it's tough.
We're a 2.5 family, country now.
Man, I'm almost double the limit right now.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
All right. So what? So were you always in hospitality? Like going back when you from New York? Is that was the background?
I was always in service industry, hospitality. I did become a teacher for 2 years. And once again, I was going into 2007, 2008, and I saw the writing on the wall that I was going to not get a job. They were cutting teacher jobs in Florida.
Okay.
And I thought, and then I got the job in New York because it's what I knew. I had done it for 10 years at that point or something like that.
And that's interesting. You said teacher. That's another profession, and I don't know if you had heard that as well. But teachers make excellent realtors because of the patience that they have with the students to help them understand it. Taking that same skill set and helping a client understand a process when it's unfamiliar, when maybe they don't want to understand it, but being patient,
Interesting.
listening, and then
All roads lead
to real estate.
Yeah. To where all the different paths led me to here.
Right. That's what
I actually didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of good realtors and team leads have an education background.
Got it. That makes sense. They know how to educate and teach, and they manage the families, the parents.
Right. Yep.
Because that's who's the boss.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother. I know that's a whole. I've heard those stories too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard those stories too. So okay, so you've got couple of administrators.
Yes.
3 team members.
Yep.
Where do you see yourself going? You've been in business for 14 years.
Yeah.
And now you're just starting this team now. I mean, that's a big step.
It is a big step. My business, so I joined coaching, Tom Ferry Coaching 3 years ago, January of 2020. And I just wanted consistency, right? Because I would have a good year and then it would not be good. So I just wanted consistency. But as a result of coaching, my career like took off in a big way. And the last couple of years, I've sold numbers that I didn't even think were possible for me. In September, I closed a townhouse for $7 million. December, penthouse for $8.5 million. And I've done a lot of consistent like $2 and $3 million helping people buy homes at those price points. Whereas prior to coaching, like I would have been happy with like a 750 or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's just what it was. And the reason I had to grow a team, and because I had a coach, he's like, you need a team, because I couldn't be at 5 places at once. It just wasn't possible. And there were days where I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, how am I supposed to be at a townhouse buyer inspection deep in Brooklyn and then have showings, you know, in Manhattan on the Upper West Side and have to be in downtown, you know, it was just like all at once. Many things were happening. And I was like, I can't do this.
Good problems, though.
Good problems.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful that I got to this point in my career, but I just couldn't do it all by myself. And then my coach just said, you have to start growing a team. So, you know, I had the assistant first and then the second assistant, and then growing the team, it began. So going into the future, I'm not really sure, because I see people who have mega teams or really big teams. I'm not sure. You know, I had lunch today with somebody who has 50 agents under them. I think that's a whole different world of where it gets difficult. I look at it that way, because to manage 50 people underneath, you know, I have 3 agents underneath me and I think they're great. I don't know, like 50, I just think it would be so hard. Like, when do you have time for yourself? Right?
You'll make time for yourself later.
No, I'm just, when
you die, that's there'll be plenty of time.
Yeah. So I just don't know what that would look like. And I think for me, I don't think that's I'm just not interested in that. Years ago, I wanted my own company. And then as I've grown and evolved into the industry, I'm like, I don't want to do that part of the business, right? I like doing what I'm good at. I like helping buyers find their perfect home. And I love helping sellers achieve, you know, the number that they want for this investment that they bought 10 years ago, you know, and seeing them happy. So I don't know. I just think managing 50, like I have a small team now and I like that because it's very tight. For me, 50 just seems overwhelming.
Yeah. And I would encourage because you never know, right?
Right.
Just, you know, if you're open-minded to consider, just like you said, you thought 750 was a great price point.
Yeah. Yes.
Who would have thought you would have 10x that?
Yeah.
So your 3 could be 30 in disguise.
That's true. We never know what is possible and what could, you know, when I look at this in a couple of years when I have a team of 50 and look back, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
So you never know.
It's all possible.
Yeah. So there's a certain, you know, resiliency that it takes to be in this or in any business.
Sure.
Really, do you have any, what are your hobbies or backgrounds? What would you do outside of hospitality, outside of real estate? What hobbies do you have, or what do you think outside factors contributed to your success in real estate?
Yeah, I think in January 2020, I hired a business coach through Tom Perry. So I had $130,000 in back taxes because in 2017, I made really good money and I spent it all. And I didn't save money to pay my taxes. And so, and then in 2018, I had a spinal surgery. So I was trying to like get back on my feet work-wise.
Literally.
And all the things. And so I had this tax debt because I thought the money would just keep coming. It didn't. And then I hurt myself. So I was like, you know, when you're injured, that takes precedent of everything else. So fast forward, we're in like 2019, I'm getting my mojo back, if you will. And then we're heading into 2020 and then COVID happens. And so I'm like, I owe like $130,000 in back taxes and the world shuts down. And New York City has
you guys
trucks.
Yeah.
There's no selling real estate and we're out of work for 4 months and we'll lose our license if we show properties, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. And I'm just in this moment, I'm like, what am I going to do? Is my career over? Am I leaving New York City and am I going home? Back to Florida.
Back to Orlando,
which is fine, but it's not what I wanted. Like I moved to New York because I love New York. And so, you know, I have all this going on and I just knew in my industry, in New York City, people weren't going to make it, right? Because like you saw in the news, everyone was fleeing New York. And I was like, okay, I have to like really buckle down and like focus. And, you know, they talk about making content and videos and whatever. I'm running around with like $2,000 rental clients on top of rooftops, taking selfies, not saying I'm showing a $2,000 rental, but just showing that I'm the guy. And it's like fake it till you make it. And I worked my butt off. And then the market changed at the end of 2020 and people kind of wanted to see things in New York. But I was window shopping with clients for a long time that were just looking around and not ready to buy anything because everyone was scared that New York was going to collapse. And it goes back to the fake it till you make it. Because I was all over social media, when the market changed, I became the guy because I was doing it. And so, but it was that like, I knew it goes back to the sports mentality that I had to like practice hard and train and run and do all these things, waking up at 6 a.m. to swim, you know, back when I was in high school, to this mentality, like bringing it into real estate was like, I have to buckle down and focus because other people aren't going to make it and I'm going to make it.
Right. And like, and really you doing the window shopping, you taking pictures and selfies and video on top of buildings and different views, that was your road work.
Yeah.
That was your 3 a.m.
Yes.
laps in the swimming pool.
Yes.
When no one's there, when it's dark outside and everyone else is sleeping. That was you putting the work in.
Yep.
So that when you got thrown in the game or in the meet, you were able to perform.
And I was. And that's kind of how I got into a place where I got so overwhelmed with business that I had to grow a team because I became the guy. And also what I didn't consider, there would be a lot of agents well, I knew people were going to be not going to make it in the industry, but also a lot of agents who were on that cusp just decided to retire. And there was market share to be had. So I picked up a big market share of people who may have called one of those other agents who have now retired and are like, hey, I have a friend who wants to sell our $3 million townhouse. Can you help? Right. And like, I became that person.
Right. Getting those referrals.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So where do you, you know, I know you said you're not sure about the 50-person team. So to speak, but what would you say? I mean, even just in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, where do you see yourself and your team going?
Well, it's interesting. Earlier today, they asked who plans on selling real estate till the end of time. Because, and the whole thing is to grow a team so you don't have to. But I actually love what I do. And I want to be in my 60s. You know, some people, they're older, retired, and they get bored. Like, I want to still be out, not all the time, not 7 days a week, but I want to still help clients go look at, because the reason I got into real estate is I'm nosy. I love seeing, like you saw me walking around this beautiful space that we're in right now and the views. I love doing that. So I want to keep doing that forever, right? So I think I'll always do this. And as far as growing the business, continue hiring my price points. You know, they've been growing to a level I never thought were possible. So let's see, you know.
Yeah, see where you can go. You'll be at 10 million, 15 million.
Yeah.
Before you know it.
That's the goal, you know, to get to the next threshold of like the 25 million, you know. It happens for other agents. My mantra in 2020, because prior to that, I didn't think that stuff was for me. And in 2020, when it was like, you got to do this, it was like, it's my time. The mantra over and over, it's my time. It's my time. Stuff that I thought was meant for other people, it's my time. And it became...
You owned it.
Yes.
So basically, you stepped into what really almost like, I'll use like the Wizard of Oz analogy, like you could have gone home anytime, right? You came back to New York and you just stepped into the role.
Yes. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So that was definitely sounds like a challenging time during that COVID time and trying to even survive and on the brink of maybe sink or swim.
My friends were worried about me because they saw how much and how hard I was working. And they also saw that like I had nothing in contract. Right. And they're like, something has to happen for you or you're going to burn out. Like, it's just not possible to not have a win. And then at the end of 2020, it started to come. And then it came like big. So
that's a good, and what would you say? I mean, of that, what would be the lesson that you would share to? Let's say there's a business person out there or a student or someone who's really coming up against the wall and having that, am I going to get through this? And it could be in school. It could be with their business. It could be in a relationship, or just in life. With the mental health challenges that people have, having more than ever that are on front page. What would you say to someone that you use personally to really push through when you maybe things could have gone a different direction?
I think I went inward during that time. I was making myself get up every morning and going to the gym first thing in the morning, and gyms weren't open. So actually, if you want to go back, I was like working out at home to do that. And then gyms reopened, and I was getting myself to go to the gym at 6 or 7 in the morning. I was meditating. I was doing affirmations, visualizations. Like, I met a for sale by owner, and I visualized that I was going to get the listing. It was my first for sale by owner. But I was doing anything and everything you told me because I had no other option, right? It was survival. During that time, I think I would have done anything. And so what I would tell other people is to look inward, because that really, like, when I did the meditation and the exercise and like really taking good care of myself, I knew I was going to make it, right? Because I don't know, I just went in. I wasn't like, what do? I did the things that I was being told from my coach.
Right. So what I'm hearing is that it's, I guess, starting with the coaching.
Yeah.
So one, having the wherewithal to know that we can't do this all by ourselves. No. That everyone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, that everyone has, LeBron James has coaches, and in most cases multiple coaches.
Yep.
To help you with, you might have a listing coach, you might have a marketing coach, like,
yep.
Just like there's no one superstar employee that you can hire that's going to be able to do everything. And then maybe just listen to what they're telling you to do.
Yeah.
So that's like being coachable.
Right.
Being coachable.
Were you in coaching in 2020?
Yes.
So do you remember Tom Ferry talking about taking your meds every morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's exactly what it was. And that it was, it came down from him, from my coach, and what's the book? The Miracle Morning.
Oh yeah.
What's the acronym that they use?
Kendra Reese. Yeah. The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's an acronym. So whatever that acronym is where the journaling and the inscribing, and I forget the word, but that it was all during that period where I was in it. And yeah, you had to be. Or a normal person under those circumstances, not a normal, but someone who's not really
as resolute,
digging in deep, they might have crushed.
Yeah, or just decided to and many agents did.
Yeah.
Just said, you know what, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to go back. I know I can go to this restaurant and I can start there. Or I know I can apply to this school district. They need teachers. You could have done that, and that would have been easier.
Yeah.
To do.
Right. Then for working all like 60 hours a week, and really there was not a lot of money coming in.
Yeah. Not a lot, meaning zero.
Right. Right. There's no paycheck. Right. Yeah. You get it. Yeah.
Right. You mean your pension didn't?
Yeah.
Your real estate pension didn't kick in?
There was nothing to lean on.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do? What do you like to do outside of real estate?
What do I like to do? I mean, so part of real estate is spending time with friends and family and, clients. And I go out to eat a lot with them, friends, family, clients. Just this weekend, I helped a client friend throw a housewarming party.
Okay.
I helped him get his apartment. So we threw a big party.
That's fun stuff.
It is, because I'm an extrovert. So all that stuff. Actually, that was another thing too, how real estate saved me during 2020. People weren't seeing each other, right? And I'm an extrovert, so I need people.
Mm-hmm.
So if everyone's like not seeing people, fortunately, people that were like locked in their apartments were only seeing me to show them apartments, right? So I got to be with people.
Right.
So that's what feeds my soul, right? So yeah, I love being out and about with friends and doing stuff, going to New York City has amazing restaurants, eating out all over town. I have a dog, going to the park. I have a boyfriend, so we go to my house upstate on the weekends. Well, weekend being, like sometimes a Monday, Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. Certainly not on a showing Saturday.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Not my weekends are not just Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, just so I haven't actually been upstate very much because I've been busy. But this July and August, we're
got
both
some time
settle a little bit. That's the nice thing with the New York market. Everyone goes away to the Hamptons or the beaches or Europe. New York City quiets in July and August. So it's like a time where I can actually go enjoy the house. So to have some downtime, sit by the water, go swimming, just take it easy.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah, and enjoying the moment. I mean, because when you are an entrepreneur, when you do work for yourself, there really isn't. You don't get the gold watch. You don't get the certificate of appreciation from the corporate boss. You don't get those things. We have to reward ourselves because that's what's going to give us some juice and re-energize us and keep us going and realize that it's all worth it.
Yeah. What do you do to rejuvenate yourself?
I like to spend time with the kids. I guess if I could do full time, just me personally, if I could do full time, volleyball tournaments, basketball tournaments, and wrestling tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments with the kids, and record. I'm like the team videographer.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, then that would be. That would be fun. But you gotta pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
So we got to work.
That's right.
That's what it is. But you do the things that you do the things that you do, and that most people won't do, so that you can enjoy and get to have the experiences that most people won't get to have. Right. So there is that rainbow on the other side that you're looking for.
Yep.
So good stuff. So let me ask you if before let me see the quote of the day.
It's a quote of the day.
The quote of the day. All right. Success in real estate comes down to two factors: taking care of and valuing the customer.
Wow.
And that's the same in real estate. This quote is just talks about real estate, but it's the same in the hospitality, restaurant, really in anything, a law firm, a school, your students. You would have to value. If you didn't value your students, could you be a good teacher? So that's an awesome quote. But let me ask you, if someone wanted to maybe join your team or wanted to maybe buy an apartment, buy a house, sell an apartment, sell a house, get to know more about you, how would we reach you?
Instagram, maybe. Mike will be Sells NYC. Also email nab@compass.com. And my last name, Michael Bhagwandin. I'm the only one online.
Right. We'll put it up for you.
Yeah.
All right. So what was the Instagram again?
Michael B. Sells NYC.
Sells NYC. All right. That was awesome, man.
Nice and simple.
We appreciate it. Well, definitely we're going to reach out to you. We want to buy, we want to sell.
Perfect.
And maybe join your team. Maybe we're going to get to that 50 number.
You never
after all.
know. This might be the beginning of it.
That's right. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Good hanging out, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for doing this.
We'll see you guys.